All right, remember to hit the start recording button this time through. Look at that. Mono green Stompy. We've got Llanowar Elves, we got Pelt Collectors, we got some Burning-Tree Emissaries, we got some busted 3-drops, we got Questing Beasts, as well as Vine Mare here, who notably can't be blocked by black creatures, which includes zombies. So Vine Mare plus Questing Beasts plus Ghalta is our plan to kind of punch through zombie tokens. Let's play some games and run some people down, huh? Good, clean living. Yeah, that's our big worry too, Sega. Christy is due at the beginning of June, and a lot of the models are predicting that we're not going to hit the peak of cases until like the middle to end of May or even early June. So we're like praying that we're going to have a functional medical system. It's like, listen, boomers, I was responsible and we didn't have another kid until we were ready and able to pay for it. And then y'all had to go and elect a man that fumbled the ball on a worldwide pandemic that made it unhospitable for us to be having a child now. You do everything right and the boomers still manage to get you, chat. We are on track for turn 3, Ghalta. You are not wrong. Burning-Tree Emissary, fun, reasonable, fair card. Who's got 2 thumbs is gonna get his board cleared next turn? This guy right here. Look at that! There were only 2 options there. The sky shattering or my opponent shattering. There was no in between. Those are the only 2 possible results that could happen that turn. Something was shattering. Alright, I think we cut these because it just gets blocked by zombie tokens. Bring in these couple of Vine Mares, click submit. Click submit, click submit. Feel like that hand's too slow. I keep this and hope to draw a 1 or a 2-drop to pair with this Burning-Tree Emissary. Ideally, we draw a 1-drop for turn 1 and turn 2 have Burning-Tree Emissary plus a 2-drop. I think Anger of the Gods could be a good card for Historic. Yeah, that'd be fine. I don't know that Anger of the Gods is like notably better than Flame Sweep or like Deafening Clarion in a lot of places, but well, I mean, at least that getting bounced doesn't really cost us anything. My work, who has not yet set us home to you. Enjoy these Bezos. Thanks for keeping us around, Ghost Stalker. Settle my wreckage, Daddy. Settle my wreckage. Oh, you hate to see it, chat. You hate to see it.
Trust me, I have a plan.
Well, you know. So the first batch of legislation for any sort of stimulus check was lost its vote in the Senate because, believe it or not, the GOP wanted to make half of the $1 trillion stimulus be earmarked for big businesses. You think that's who needs to be bailed out right now? Large businesses? Probably not. Welcome to late stage capitalism, where more people are going to get killed by it than normal. Thanks for the 3/4 of a year on text. Welcome back. Yes, they're salivating at the need to pass a bill ASAP. Have big businesses tried cutting back on avocado toast? Yep. I feel like they should yank on their bootstraps harder, Jin.
I've got it.
Yes, the initial thing that was already passed already had concessions to make it so big businesses weren't penalized. Correct. Yeah, and that's not just it too. Not only was half the money earmarked for large businesses, it was earmarked for large businesses while explicitly not putting rules in place on things they could or couldn't do after taking the money.
Don't worry. I got it.
I think we're probably dead here. They've got 5 cards in their hand and they're pretty well set up. There was a writer saying that corporate bailouts would be anonymous for 6 months. You can't. If restrictions are included, what are your thoughts on it then? Yeah, if you're giving money to those companies with the stipulation that you're helping those companies so they can help their employees, I think that's fine. But taking this as yet another opportunity to line the pockets of people who already have their pockets pretty thoroughly lined is not okay. Thanks for the 3/4 of a year, Seamus. As for what regulations should be put into place, I have no idea. People like Warren are probably far more qualified to figure that out than I am. Almost assuredly. I think I'm happy with how he boarded. Let's just like have a more aggressive hand of the play. I think this is good enough. Vine Mare doesn't get bounced, demands a sweeper. Like, obviously not having a 2 and a 3 is bad, but like, I think double Vine Mare on the play here guaranteed sounds good. So our ideal draws are 2-drop next turn, 3-drop the following turn. That's actually great too, because it just like is something to do with our mana this turn. It makes us a 3-drop next turn. Marriott CEO is taking no pay and all the executives are taking half pay this year. Good. That can happen and they'll all be okay. Is there a shatter in my future? They're furloughing their employees at 20% pay. Oh, so they gave their executives half pay and laid off a bunch of people. Just and the people they didn't lay off, they get a 20% pay. All right, so we're getting swept and then we're dead, I assume. We'd like Questerson off the top here to have a chance. Yikes. Alright, well, that was an uninspiring start to the set. This is a deck where, even if this deck is potentially good, it's a deck that offers very little in-game player agency in my experience. So your decisions when playing a deck like this are how you mulligan, how you sideboard. The actual in-game gameplay tends to be pretty straightforward. Just kind of like play your stuff out on curve and try and smash people. They postponed the 2020 Olympics. Good. We need more big things like that. More things to make people realize this is a big deal. Sure. The person who asked about our lands earlier, we've got all sorts of lands in this deck. Big, beautiful lands. Favorite kind of cheese? Sharp cheddar. Extra sharp cheddar? Get that cheddar, chat. Get that cheddar.
This isn't a fight you can win. Here we go.
Think I'm just playing games plus the elf here.
Hey, I'll protect you.
The sharpest of cheddars. Excellent. Ooh, best draw on the deck. Hands down, not close. Get to getting a little horny here on stream chat. Beetle's powering up. Give him the horns.
Right on schedule.
That's against the Twitch TOS. Ugh, oh, God. It's not quite Reflector made your thing and then Meddling made you, but like, That's like pretty close, right? I don't know that this one's gonna be a very long set, chat. This one, it's been a little rough so far here. Beetle's actually probably not very good against Teferi. I'll leave a couple of Ghaltas in to trample over. Green mountains and more haste creatures. Yeah, like, I'll play a few matches, but so far at a glance, I'm not sure there's been a very compelling reason to play this over Gruul, would be my question. Like, that's the question you have to answer if you want to play this, right? Like, what's the compelling reason to do this as opposed to playing the established good Gruul deck? We're gonna have turn 4 Ghalta this game. We'll see if that's enough. Yeah, there's a lot of down pairings in Historic for sure. The fact that they left the constructed event open split the player base some, it seems. Slower queue times 2. Sometimes you wait a minute or two. Alright, it's a pretty good one. Okie doke. And bounce Pelterino here. I just clicked on the wrong one. I guess we'll just do this now. When you play in the evening, it's quicker. That makes sense. Yay! We did the thing! Yay! And like I said, this is the type of deck where you're not really outmaneuvering people. You're just kind of like, these are my big dumb green things. Do you have a sweeper or a Doomblade? If not, kill you. Alright, that's phenomenal. Like, actual best draw on the deck? Like, powers this up on 2 and then lets us curve out super cleanly here? Joke's on you. I got 2 4-drops. Really? They took Ceratops instead of Questerson? That's interesting. Crunch? VA just closed schools for the remainder of the year and put in stipulations on what businesses can remain open and how for the next 30 days at a minimum. Good. I expect we'll see more and more schools announcing that they're closing for the remainder of the school year. Hopefully they'll be able to open back up in the fall. Yeah, that's a good read. The deputy makes sense why they took the Ceratops. Yikes. That also doesn't kill Ceratops. Alright, let's shake this one more time, but if we get Dumpster one more time, I think I might just call it a day early. We ran super late yesterday. I'm kind of a little bit burnt because we rolled the weekend right into my stream from last week. So this is like my 10th day in a row live. I will be off tomorrow, like I said, for folks who are my regulars. I'm going to be streaming on the weekends as the norm now. It's just a little bit of a long stretch to kind of roll into that new cycle. I'm going to be off Tuesday and Friday this week. So I'll be off tomorrow. I'll be live Wednesday and Thursday for my normal stream. And then I'll be off Friday and then be live Saturday, Sunday for my normal stream. Illinois labor laws prevent that. Something. Thought not. Thank you for the 3 entire years of support. That's so long. Thanks for keeping me around. I don't know. My oldest is in kindergarten, so like, it's like relatively, the thing I'm worried about Jacob missing out more than anything else is like the social aspect of school and the social aspect of like not seeing their friends more than anything. Like making sure he's keeping up on like being able to like write letters and like spot read things. Isn't too bad. And in fact, part of the reason why I'm shifting my schedule is because I want to be able to have a little bit more active focus time with them so we can do some extra school stuff with them. Christy's doing stuff with them on the weekends when she's off, and then I'll be able to do more stuff during the week. Brushing off math teacher skills. Yeah, I mean, like, so my background, I student taught high school. So it's a little bit different than like teaching grade schoolers. Different skill set. Yeah, we, Declan's daycare sent out a thing asking parents to pay 60% of their tuition even while they're closed. And I think we're going to do that for at least a month. But honestly, even if the daycare is able to open back up, I'm pretty sure we're not sending him back. Like, even if they're, like, legally allowed to open, I don't think I'm going to be comfortable sending them this year. Maybe come fall if things end up drastically better than they're predicting, but man, we are just getting demolished here, huh? This has not been close. Oh, well, that was a little bit of a mishap. I was expecting them to unsummon me here, and then they didn't, so that's nice. Thanks, I guess. So, if we take proper precautions and we get a handle on the whole COVID thing, it's possible to get some amount of normalcy back without a vaccine, from my understanding, if we just have proper testing. Because if tests are actually available, you can just quarantine people or have people self-quarantine when they have symptoms or are exposed to people. Would be some of the idea. Even that's not, like, so maybe, who knows, like, there's a lot of uncertainty as to when exactly things are going to happen. Like, you know, we're like a year and a half at earliest away from a vaccine. Yeah. And like, the fact that there's all these people out there who aren't taking this seriously and like aren't social distancing currently, and our hospitals are on target to just get overwhelmed, means that it's going to take us even longer to get back to any semblance of normal. AZ Power, thank you for the 12 months. I appreciate the entire year. That's what an article that was published yesterday, or a couple of days ago, said, Master Juicer. It looked credible from my understanding of the people talking in it. I think I'm going to cut the Ghaltas, because, like, I don't think we're going to be able to have a big enough board for that. Sure, but just because they're the least susceptible to a Camboni machine doesn't mean they're not transmitting it, right? It just means the symptoms when they get it are less severe. Thanks for the 24 months, Night Stars. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Like, before all of this happened, I lovingly always referred to my children as my tiny plague carriers. Like, you know, these kids take the germs from their home and bring it to all the kids in their classroom, and all those kids bring it home. Like, sure, there's a lot of research being done on a lot of things, Terror, but like a lot of that type of stuff requires a lot of observation to make sure there's not long-lasting negative side effects to it. Sure, but they still get it, machine, and then they can still transmit it to others. In 95% of cases, you can continue shedding for up to 21 days. Well, I mean, they killed a bunch of our stuff, but we still have a 5-4 trucking along here. So, maybe we have a shot? Yep. Small mistake here on the opponent's part. They sacked their steam vents instead of their sulfur falls, so any future sulfur falls or castles they draw will come into play tapped now. Okay, if we get to draw 2 cards next turn, in 2018, how do we start trials for something in 2018 that started in 2019? Unless you have a typo there. At least we got to draw some cards first. Oh, it pumps up these two, so they'll just sit on board. You'll love to see it. And did you? Sounds good, Redlocks. That'll get bumped up after I'm done today. It's antiviral for other viruses and has shown positive results against COVID. Okay. We got the gold. Alright, just want to draw lands for like the first 3 to 4 turns. Yeah, like 3 turns. I'm going to lead on Pelt Collector, because I'd rather Pelt Collector die than Elf. And then turn 2 can be Burning-Tree, play Elf, and then curve into my 4-drops. This also, leading on this, lets me turn it into a 2-2 with BTE. Patricks, can I request that you change your username? Actually, I'm just going to give you an ultimatum. If you don't change the color of your username from black, I'm just never going to respond to anything you post in my chat ever. Because I can't read your username. If I can't read your username, it's hard to respond to. So that goes for anybody out there that wants to set their Twitch username to black. It just doesn't show up in dark mode. Shroom Dog, thanks for 11 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Not a very cruel bit. I know. I try to be a reasonable human being. Twitch should really fix that, but in the interim, you could fix it yourself. How is Historic? It is my favorite format, not close, in Magic right now. To give you context from the community, I have been playing twice as many Historic decks as any other format, and there are still more Historic decks in my deck queue right now than every other Magic format combined. So, Standard, Modern, Legacy, Pioneer combined have fewer decks waiting to be played than Historic does at the moment. Perfect. Like that, I can read your name. I appreciate you. Thank you. They have readable colors toggle. Non-mod settings. Ooh, what does readable colors do? Does that fix it? Oh, look at that. Why isn't that? Come on, Twitch. Why isn't that a default option? Readable colors is a checkbox. It makes the black names gray. Perfect. You love to see it. Kushino, thank you for the 2 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I learned something today, chat. Learning is exciting. Alright, so we're super dead. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off early. It's been a lot of days in a row. I'm taking tomorrow off. This deck was a smoldering dumpster fire. I don't think there's a compelling reason to do what this deck is doing as opposed to the Gruul deck that's very, very good in the format. Yeah, just the Gruul deck is great. Having that little bit of red interaction is great. Having more haste creatures is great. Ghalta's just not very good. Like, there's a reason why Ghalta doesn't make the cut in the Jund Dinosaur decks that we've been playing. Like, we're playing Embercleave instead. Embercleave has just rendered this card useless. There's a reason why the dinos went extinct. This, as a go-over-the-top play, the board state it requires is just more restrictive than not. Acker. Yes, you're back to gray and still legible. I appreciate that. Look at that. I learned something today. I'm sorry I made you fumble with your settings. So for people who aren't familiar, just to give a short Twitch lesson, if you click here, if you're a mod, you click non-mod settings, you can edit your own name to show which badges you have. You can change your name colors. And then apparently there's also an option here that says readable colors. And if you click this on, names that are otherwise black turn to gray, which is great. And if you don't have dark mode on, do something decent for your eyes and turn dark mode on. All right, I'm gonna hit one more ad roll on my way out the door. We had a donation there as well. Woo, where's my dashboard? Say thank you for that. Thanks for being sane and continuing to entertain us. Assign this to Dealer's Choice. Will do. I appreciate that. Everybody, enjoy the rest of your Monday. I'll be off tomorrow and then be back on Wednesday. Remember, if you didn't catch any of my streams over the weekend, my website has all of them there live now. I was live Saturday, and we were live for like 9 hours yesterday. So catch all of y'all later. Everybody, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Stay safe out there. Remember, if you don't need to, stay home. As always, a big shout out to all the people who are out there on the front lines, whether you're, a doctor or a nurse literally saving lives, or just a grocery store worker helping us continue to function. I appreciate you. We need you.